How you all doing, everyone? I hope you've all had a good week. We're almost at the weekend. It's Thursday morning. Welcome back to the Magnificent Marks channel. Yes, I'm back with a video. I can eventually do one again. I wanted to do one as soon as I left the ground, instant post-match reaction on Monday night. But honestly, I just had no voice, and it was the same Tuesday. Tuesday, I was just emotionally drained. I was just, honestly, I was off work. But I just slept for a few hours during the day on Tuesday. I was absolutely wasted. And then yesterday, by the time my voice come back, I was settled in to watch Grimsby dump out Manchester Red. So I just thought I'd jump on this morning there. But yes, I just want to discuss quickly Monday night. I'm so proud of the lads. Yes, we've lost again. We still haven't beat Liverpool in the league for coming up 10 years. But you know what? There's nothing but pride in that performance. The way we performed against the champions again, without an out-and-out striker, it was fantastic. I mean, the noise was palpable. I was singing my heart out the entire game. Even when we're behind, look, you can't get your head down when you fall behind. You've got to back the lads. And my God, did they respond. But yeah, that's why I've been without a voice. I said I'd back them. The atmosphere was off the scale. Not quite PSG, but it was fantastic. In there, honestly, it was a performance full of guts, heart, courage, bravery, and every single one of them lads out there, even Gordon, did play for the badge, and they showed what commitment to this club is. And Alexander Isak could learn a thing or two. We just started at just a frenetic pace, and we dominated that first 30 minutes. Obviously, Liverpool were going to come back into that game because we can't keep up that intensity, and it looked intentional. Now, was Gordon's red card just before half-time a red card? Absolutely. Look, I don't think he intentionally went out to hurt Van Dijk. It was just reckless, over-enthusiastic. Look, when I was in the ground at the time, the way we are in the Strawberry, we're kind of level with where the Leazers is, so you can't see the telly. So I wasn't certain on it, but I did get a little bit signal somehow. Everyone knows what St. James's is like for signal, but I got a bit through at half-time. The lads who I know who live away and were watching on TV said it was a Stonewall red. I've seen it after. It was. So it's unfortunate. I mean, Gordon's made a habit of it recently. He got one against Brighton, and then he's got one against Liverpool. Is he trying a bit too hard? I don't know. But you know what? He was one of our best players from that point. He was pressing relentlessly, and his link-up play was kind of decent with Elanga and Barnes, the little flicks he had. I thought Elanga had a good game. Look, yes, he still needs to work on his end product a bit, but he was getting in some fantastic positions on that wing. Couple of pullbacks, but wasn't really anyone there. Joe Linton tried to get on the end of one. Harvey Barnes had a decent game. I thought he wasn't at his scintillating best, but he still got a couple of crosses in against Szoboszlai, who was basically a makeshift right back with them losing the injured Frimpong. And then it was probably a choice between him or Conor Bradley, but Conor Bradley and Joe Gomez, I think, but they were just coming back to fitness. So I believe, if I remember right, Szoboszlai was playing there. To begin with. But yes, Barnes, all right, but nothing too flashy. But the link-up play was good at the front. I thought our midfield was great as well in that first half. Obviously, the worrying things are we've lost Joe Linton. Luckily, it's only for a game. His partner's confirmed it. I believe it was on Instagram. He's only going to miss the Leeds game on Saturday at tea time, and then be back after the break. Fabian Schär. Fabian Schär's so back, isn't he? Concussion, a head injury. Fabian Schär loves a head injury. We are so back. But yeah, concussion protocols means he's going to miss the Leeds game as well. But fortunately, he's back. But now we've got depth, so Malik Chow can step in. Now, the worrying news, though, was Sandro Tonali. He was playing that second half until he had to come off with basically one arm. He basically done... remember Wilson at Forest when he popped his shoulder out? Tonali was basically walking around and had to put his arm in a makeshift sling. And he's the worrying one because he makes our midfield tick. And I felt he was very good up until his injury. But yeah, Keith Downey did say, though, that the diagnosis is looking okay on them, that the club don't believe that they're going to be out for a prolonged amount of time. So yeah, we've just got to wait and hear though. We need to wait and see, because obviously we've had it before with players. I believe Jacob Murphy and then Nick Pope as well, shoulder injuries. Bring them back too early, they might pop out again. It happened with Murphy. I believe it was a Champions League. Nick Pope couldn't dive on that left side after his shoulder injury after a while. So yeah, let's hope Sandro's not out for too long. But like I said, the main thing is we've got depth now. You looked at that bench Monday night and you were so encouraged by it. Yes, we're still without a striker, but you know what? Again, like I said, though, going back to the game, we dominated that first 30 minutes, and then we're just hit with the red card and Gravenberch's goal. I felt Gravenberch played really well for Liverpool. I've got to give him credit. It was a good finish as well. Look, I think Nick Pope wasn't expecting the shot for the first goal. The only goal I think Nick Pope could have done better for was the second goal. First goal, I think he was like setting himself, waiting to see like if he was playing it across the face, maybe to one of their wide forwards like Salah, for example, and he wasn't expecting the shot. And to be fair, it was a great finish. It was so far in the corner, and it was a fantastic finish against the run of play. But you know what? That's what good teams do, and that's how they won it in the end. The second goal, I felt like the lads regrouped at half-time. EddieHowe would have been said, look, don't concede early. Fell on deaf ears. Ekitike, the man we'll link with so much over the summer, scored a goal. I felt Nick Pope could have done better with that, but it was a sucker punch, and then you thought, will we recover here against such a good team, even though we're being the better team for the majority of it. But you know what? That comeback was absolutely fantastic. No matter how that game ended, honestly, like I said, bravery, courage, heart, determination. Bruno, he was poor in Villa, but he was absolutely fantastic Monday night. That was a captain's performance, showing what it means to play for this club. And Bruno stepped up and then some. And it was a great header as well. The throw-in came in, cleared back to Tino, lovely cross in. Bruno managed to just get it, for not such a tall player, he done well to manage to get the space on Kirkes to just get the header into the bottom corner. And Kirkes again had a shocking game. But yeah, Bruno, I felt it was a brilliant little finish into that corner. It was his first goal since the one against Chelsea, the deflected one last season. And then the equaliser, yeah. We had a couple of chances, few missed ones here and there after that. But then one long ball, it was as simple as that. Lick Pope up, Dan Burns flick on, and then William Asula. Yeah, a striker. Yes, a striker scored a goal for. Look, he's too much of a live wire. He puts himself about. He's got lots of heart, but he gives so many fouls away, and he's unpredictable. So yeah, he's not the solution. Now, do I expect him to start at Leeds? You know what? There's an argument that he could, because he is a striker, but I don't think he's ready for the Premier League yet. So I do expect a front three of probably Murphy right, Elanga through the middle for his pace, and then Barnes left. But we'll wait and see. But yeah, Liverpool scored that sucker punch at the end. They played it wide, and look, yeah, if you look back, you see Tino telling Elanga to pull himself in, so Tino could go back to is it Ngoma at the back post, the young lad. Tino wanted to drop back on him, get Elanga in to mark Szoboszlai, and then it would have been Chow on Chiesa. But you know what? Look, Salah done nothing all game, but Salah popped up with the assist. Brilliant dummy by Szoboszlai, and it was a great finish from the young lad. Look, he could have a good future, him. He's looked impressive from what I've seen of him. You know what? Fair play, great finish. It was heartbreaking to lose again at the death. Yes, I'm gutted we lost. Obviously, we deserved at least a point, but you know what? With that attitude, character, and determination, the way those lads are playing without the sulky Swedes, honestly, it gives you nothing but encouragement for the rest of the season. And it feels like, look, we could have had 6 points if we had Isak. If he'd have been playing, we would have been on maximum points by now. I honestly believe that. But again, it's not entirely the Isak situation. Look, even if Isak hadn't kicked up a fuss, the club still haven't got a striker in. We're meant to be going back in with a £60 million bid for Strand-Larsen today. We'll wait and see on that. I think StrandLarsen, I'm a bit sold on him now, yes. Look, I know we've went all the way down with shopping list, so to speak, but you know what? I think Strand-Larsen, the fact he wants to come, and I'll say this, his character, which you've got to say, like Gehi, even though we're not going to obviously go for him now. Even though Wolves has said a not for sale stance, as Craig Hope said, look, the fact that we're back in, that just tells me, look, yes, you've got to put out a not for sale stance like we've done with Isak, but when the right money comes in, you can't turn it down. I still think if we got the right money in for Isak and we got 2 strikers, and he will go, and I'd like him to go. I got a question Monday night because I'm part of the Fanalysis app. It went, do you want him to play for you again? I went, no, but that's different from, do I expect him to play for you again? Look, if he's not gone by Monday, he's got to get his head down and play. Does he really want to play for the Unders in a World Cup? Yeah. I'm sorry, you just can't. I can't see him just not playing for the remainder of this season. I don't even expect him to go. Will we even sanction a big sale in January? He's going to have to get his head down to apologise. Look, if he gets his head down, Isak apologises, sacks his agent, just says, look, all right, I'll get on with it, and then we'll let him go next summer. Will the fans forgive? No. But if he puts the ball in the back of the net, will we put up with it? Of course we will. Look, we're all a bit fickle. We just want to strike out and score goals. But yeah, we'll just wait and see on that one. But Strand-Larsen, he's got 1.85 goals and assists per game. So I'd be happy with him. Yeah, he's a tall lad. And people are saying, oh, he's only got 14 Premier League goals. People wanted Šeško, and he only scored 13 in Bundesliga. And look, yeah, I know they only signed for 23 million, but he's proved himself. Yes, they've just signed him permanently, but that's a going rate. And we're desperate. We haven't got a striker in yet, so it's on us. We're going to have to overpay for a striker. We can't go with just Asula and Gordon, who's now going to miss the next 3 league games after he's straight red for the remainder of this season. It just can't happen. So yeah, I'd like Strand-Larsen in. Now, actually, I just want to touch on that. Speaking of Šeško, I laughed my head off last night. My voice had just recovered, as I said, but I watched that Grimsby Manchester United game. Grimsby, to a man, were absolutely fantastic. And yet, look at Man U as well. Like, they keep saying they won the window, but my God, what are they playing at? They are so bad. But you know what? I'm not complaining at that. Give Amorim a lifetime contract. He looks so out of his depth. But what the hell has happened to Man U? He just sticks to his 3-4-2-1 at Man U, and it's so easy to come back. His post-match interview after the game threw his players under the bus. They couldn't compete against the 4th Division team. And he's saying all 22 players were up for sale. Can you imagine EddieHowe doing that? I am so grateful we've got EddieHowe, the way he's conducted himself, handled the press with this Isak saga this summer. Like, the way he's represented our club, I wouldn't want any other manager in place. You saw him on the sideline with his little clipboard with the magnets on, moving it around. You're playing a 4th Division team. But Grimsby, to a man, deserved it. And that penalty shootout, it was an epic penalty shootout. But you know what? Cunha missed the pen. Mbumo missed the pen in sudden death. And then Šeško waiting to take his pen. 10th. Their record striker. And he's waiting to take a penalty. 10th in line. What does that say? Honestly, massive red flag missed there. And those 3 players, everyone keeps telling me, especially that plastic Adam McCullough, we've won the window, rejected FC. Well, you know what? You can have them. Because on this evidence so far, your club are on a hiding to nothing, and it's going to be another struggle this season. They can have them. Honestly, Šeško, honestly, hiding like that. Even Amorim, his character. Imagine turning to the sidelines in the penalty shootout and seeing your manager like this, rocking in the dugout. What does that say? I'm sorry, you're in a penalty shootout, no disrespect, but away to a 4th Division team. Well done to Grimsby. Honestly, it was fantastic, and I'd done me memes saying, I was waiting to post it, honestly. You know the ones going around saying you're being pecked by the chickens? That's who we've got in the next round, isn't it, Bradford? But yeah, I've done my one saying you're being smoked by the Mariners. Honestly, nothing unites the football community like Man U getting humiliated. It's beautiful. Long may it continue. Now, speaking of the League Cup, yes, it was the 3rd round draw last night. We enter as holders. Yeah, we're going to have that special badge. That feels good. But yeah, with we being one of the European clubs, was drawn before the game, where we're either home or away. So yeah, we end up getting a home tie. There was only a 37.5% chance of that, but we're at home to Bradford City, who I don't think we've played since 2000. Valley Parade, when they went up in the Premier League 99-2000. I don't know if they got relegated in 2000 or 2001. In all honesty, I can't remember. But yeah, Bradford City are coming to St James's Park, and it'll be the week commencing the 22nd because the Champions League will be playing on match day 1 and the week before that. So that's spread over the first 2 weeks. And obviously, we couldn't meet a fellow European team. So yeah, we've got the Bantams at home. And I really hope we don't end up on the end of a cup upset ourselves, because we'll just say that you've been pecked by the chickens. Honestly, it's hilarious banter, but please, I do not want a giant killing. Obviously, last night wasn't a giant killing. That's just Man U these days. But yes, tonight it's the Champions League phase draw at 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time from Monaco. Oh, so exciting. And yes, I'll put the dates of match days 1-8 up on the screen now. But who do I want as well to follow that? I'm going to also post up the pots. We're in pot 4. And here's my choices of opponents from all 4 pots. Now, you can't draw a fellow English team, and it's 2 teams from each pot. So my preferences from pot 1 would be Real or Barça, Dortmund or Bayern Munich. Pot 2, Atalanta, Frankfurt, Benfica or Bruges. Pot 3, Ajax, Slavia Prague, PSV or Napoli. Pot 4, Paphos, Monaco, Kairat and Karabakh. Yeah, the last 2 teams from Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan. And yes, you might say, you're mad, do you want Napoli? But if you've watched my videos before, I was in Naples last year. It was a fantastic holiday. I loved every second of it. Staying in Posillipo, and then I got to visit Pompeii, the Royal Palace of Caserta and Gardens, Sorrento, Ischia, and the Amalfi Coast and Atrani. I didn't get to Positano, but as you can see, yeah, there's me top from there. Absolutely loved it there. So yeah, I know you might see you're mad wanting to go to Napoli away with their ultras, but I really want Napoli. I'd love Napoli and Real Madrid away. Oh God, I can't wait for this draw this evening. But anyway, yeah, that's it from me for now. That's all I want to say. I'm excited for that. So yeah, it's going to be on UEFA.com. Make sure you tune in. But I'm going to get back to work now. I had a little break this morning, so I just wanted to do this video. But thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with my preview on Saturday before Leeds. But for now, take care. Please like, comment and subscribe. See you, everyone.